Yo, no maniacs. What's good? This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time. And it's just me, your host, Nomad. Why? Number one, I'll tell you guys a quick story, man. I'll just let you in. Let's be fully transparent here. Number one, sometimes when we're not live and we're not doing shows, I feel pretty guilty. And I feel like for all the support that we get, we don't put out enough content for you guys. And I know you guys love the live shows to be able to interact with everybody and me and everybody else on the network. And I feel guilty sometimes. And that's just God's honest truth. I feel guilty because we're blessed with so much support that we don't give you guys enough content. And I can't wrangle everybody that I need to do shows all the time. So what do? Do I release videos and kind of clickbaitish stuff, that most people do? Nah. I feel good about maybe putting some of that stuff out there, but really having a story to talk about when I put it out. But mostly, I do love interacting with you guys, and that's the reason why we're here today. Why I'm here today is to correspond with you guys, because I feel like there's a void out there. It's like a moral support void, and I'm looking at a lot of stuff out there, social media, content thumbnails and different things. It's really a bad tone out there. And I feel like there's a void. And you know me, I'm glass half full kind of dude. And if I see that void out there, I feel like I need to fill it. I'm going to do just that. And so that's why I'm here today by myself to talk to you guys. So bear with me, people. I'll get to as much comments as I can, whenever I can, but we're going to have a conversation today about exactly what you see on the screen here. Why it's not time to panic. And we need to just chill out as Bears fans. I'm not demanding, I'm asking that, I believe that our voices out here, now that we have platforms and we're able to convey to the rest of the public and even people in the front office how we really feel about what they're doing at Hallis Hall, I think we ought to be mindful of what we do and what we say sometimes. And I'm trying to be that every day. I got pretty upset that last show we did about some of the stuff I seen out there with the play calling, which is what we're going to talk about first. And that's the play calling. It wasn't encouraging at times, but it wasn't all bad. I looked at some all 22, but not the whole shebang like I'm going to. But what I saw, we'll talk about today. What I'm saying to you guys is it's not as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. The guy you see on the screen right there, the incremental growth that I've seen from this kid from game one to now is pretty, I would just say it was on par for what I expected, but a little bit better than I thought at the same time. If that makes any kind of sense. I see a lot of growth. He's getting a grasp of this offense and how to get in and out of the huddle on time. I think that's been a struggle for him from the beginning until now. I think it's still somewhat of a struggle for him. And I think he's just getting better at it. And, he's spraying the ball around. People want to know. A lot of people really, really want to know, why aren't we running the ball like we're supposed to be running the ball? Why is this cat out here throwing 56, 58 times a game? I think it's a two-part answer to that. One is, I do believe in the run game, and you have to be consistent with it and commit to it. Number one. Two, if I see them more interested in getting him comfortable right now at this part of the season than focus on trying to jam the running game down the other team's throat. I hope that makes some kind of sense, because I do believe the most important thing that we can do right now is get the win. But the second most important thing we can do right now is see what we have in this kid, find out, what pass sets. Is it RPO? Is it under center? What is it that helps this cat be more comfortable and get him into his rhythm? We can't treat this cat like he's cookie cutter. You got to really cater to what this cat does well. And I think so far they're doing a pretty good job of that. But the play calling, just game time management, situational play calling, I think at times the lighter way of saying it is calling it suspect. The worst thing you could say is just flat out bullshit. Sometimes it was just some bullshit calls out there, straight up. But what are we here for? We're here to talk about it, man. But let me look at these comments before we really get going. And welcome everybody to the show. If I forget to name some people, you guys forgive me. I'm doing this by myself. King Buka World, Jay Sanders, Crimson, you dig? First one in the chat today, Jan Hammer. Let me see. Damon Cross. Shout out to you guys. Who else? I see Big Planks in there. Who else? I'm just looking. I'm gonna get up some of these comments. King, we are not doomed, man. We are not doomed. I cannot receive that, bro. Who is that? Jay Sanders says Kurt Warner said that he feels Caleb took a step back. You know, I've seen that podcast. I haven't watched it, but I'm curious to see what he's talking about. You know, from a quarterback's perspective. Yeah, we'll see what he's talking about. I'll check that out later on. Let me see what's Crimson saying. If you don't commit to Swift with this line, you won't win another game. Let me show you guys something right quick. Let me share my screen right quick. And to Crimson's point, right quick, I'll show this. You guys, it's pretty bad. I want to talk about this a little bit though. All right, we're gonna look at rankings by rushing rankings. Let me get this off. Crap off my screen. All right, so here we are. If you guys can see it, somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me peep in the studio. If you guys can see what I have on the screen, give me a thumbs up. If you can, I'll do my best to read it to you. I hear you, King. I mean, I know you're just messing around. I hear you. I hear you 100%. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see what I have on the screen, so I'll know. Somebody please give me a thumbs up, and I'll go in and read it and tell you what I think about this running game and where we are. I guess nobody can see it. All right. Thank you, Jan. Jan just gave me a thumbs up. Let me go ahead and go in and read it. All right, here we go. So this is NFL's, team stats, rushing stats by the numbers. Of course, right there at the top is Green Bay, 200-something yards a game. Baltimore is number 2, 203. But way down here at the bottom, what's more important is us. We're second to last in rushing, 72.7 yards a game. Vegas is right behind us with 51.0 yards a game. Right above us is Dallas at 73.7 yards per game. And so really that's all I want to get out of this, was to tell you guys where exactly we are and to talk to you guys about that. Here we go. The first thing I want to talk about is Khalil Herbert and what's going on with him, why he hasn't been, why his usage is so low. And I've been thinking about it for the past 48 hours, to be honest with you. And the only logical excuse or explanation that I can give you guys that makes any kind of sense to me is maybe they had plans on moving Khalil Herbert at the trade deadline, and they don't want to get him nicked up or injured, and they prefer to use other players. That's my only logical explanation. Could he be in the doghouse? Could he be in the doghouse? People, I don't know. Is there something going on outside of our understanding, outside of our knowledge? I don't know. But it's curious to me. It has me scratching my head why we're not using Khalil Herbert. Yes, we did use Roschon Johnson for the first time this year, kind of the second time. But that's curious to me, guys. That's curious to me because, in my opinion, quite frankly, I think Dallas, the Raiders, and maybe another team or two out there could possibly be in the market for a running back. Dallas, I know they're desperate for a running back. Do they think Khalil Herbert is some answer to their problems down there? They can't run the ball. No better than we can right now. So I don't know. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to put up a couple of comments. Jan is saying, well, he got all 4 carriers on that infamous first and goal, got negative 12 yards. Yeah. Let me see. Black Diamond, he said, hey, Nomad, you my guy, but I'm sorry. I have zero faith in this coaching staff to scheme up a plan to put up 24 points. I got us winning one more game the rest of the season, and it's not the Panthers. Wow. Man, Petty, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try and encourage you, man, because I don't see it being that bad at all, man. I do think the coaching, which is what we're gonna talk about first here. I do think the coaching is suspect. Do they got some? See, I'm gonna tell you why I think the coaching is so suspect right now. I think they're in an exploratory phase with this offense, Petty. I think they're experimenting to see what's working. What could they do to give this offense a rhythm, establishing an identity? They're in a find out phase, just like Caleb Williams is with this offense. They're in a find out phase with the whole thing, and so that's what I think is going on, man. So hopefully by the end of the show, I'll try to encourage you a little bit more, Petty. I'm gonna do my best, man. But let me pull up another comment. So this is it's Crimson, you dig? So the staff would rather lose games and trade a guy that led the league in yards per attempt 2 years ago. That sounds like grounds for termination. Man, listen. Other than that, I don't know how you guys can explain to me why Khalil Herbert isn't getting touches. I mean, to me, that's the only thing I can think of, Crimson. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Let me pull up another comment. Joe Sutherland. People gotta Joe Sutherland. People gotta remember Waldron brought in his own staff except for Chris Morgan, who was the O-line coach, run coordinator, and that's the biggest issue with the offense anyone can see. Now, see, Joe Sutherland just spoke to my spirit animal. I pointed that out on the last Nomad at night. We actually went to the website and we looked at the coaching staff, hires, and win. I've never seen in my years of watching football when you bring in a new offensive coordinator at any point in my life that offensive coordinator was not able to hire his own staff. And that means from the offensive line coach, receivers coach, and on down the line, that offensive coordinator, to my understanding and to everything that I know, was always given the autonomy to bring in the people that he chose to orchestrate what he wanted to do. Why that didn't happen here, I got a sense of some kind of nepotism going on. I think Chris Morgan is, being honest with you, I don't know this for sure, but the stuff that I've heard is Chris Morgan and Eberflus are super tight. And to me, that's a problem. You know, to me, that's a problem. You can't, I know the coaching carousel is a fraternity. I know that for a fact. It's really a fraternity. I know a few people in it, you know. But that to me, that's there's no excuse for that you give this cat this job and not give him the people that he wants to orchestrate what he wants to do. Force feeding him Chris Morgan if that's not the guy that he wanted, to me, that's out of line. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't. I'm not feeling that, but I appreciate the comment, Joe. AC Adams says Morgan and Waldron are oil and water. I agree with that. Let me see. Jan, what is it? Jan says first and goal, Khalil Herbert, direct snap from the 1 yard line. Second and goal, Khalil Herbert, shotgun, carry for 1 yard. Third and goal, Khalil Herbert, shotgun, carry for no gain. I hear you. Let me pull up Don's comment. Don Burr saying, try telling y'all this would be a convenience months ago amid all the hype. Dude, let me explain something to you, Don. And you know this because you know football like I know you know football. It's all exploratory right now. Everything is in a find out phase. What can you do? What you're good at? New offense, new quarterback, getting him comfortable. Mix all that up into a cocktail, and you're gonna have ebbs and flows in a game. But I do like what I saw this last game. I think they're starting to figure some stuff out. You know, the running game, man, I can't argue with that against nobody. They got to figure some stuff out there, who to use, calling the right plays with the right running back in the backfield, you know, calling more pass plays for Swift, getting him more involved, all that kind of stuff is questionable right now, but they got to get a grip on that and you can't blame that. You can't point the finger anywhere else but to them. But Don, you are not going to tell me it's just hype. No, these dudes are going to be good. They're going to be explosive. It's just a matter of time before they get there. Let me look at some more comments down here. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Aunt Maz. I know he's irritating in the damn chat, but he does know some football. He is an asshole sometimes, but he knows football. Mayhem, man, we ain't talking about Justin Fields, man. I know y'all want to talk about Justin Fields, but that's he's a Steeler now, man. I just don't. I just want to let that chapter be closed, man. There's no revisionist history here, man. We got what we got. But let me see. They're talking about that. Don, I'm trying to give you some credit, man, because I do know you know football, but man, you're an asshole and they're gonna give it to you. But let's talk about the offense, man. Let's talk about the offense and the play calling. I just kind of alluded to it a little bit. What I think is missing is symmetry with the offensive play calling. I think they're figuring out. I think Caleb is figuring out the guys around him, his weapons, and their preferences. The offense is figuring out what plays they can call, with the personnel that they have. It's like sometimes you have. Why are you running east and west when you have good edge rushers on the field, great edge rushers on the field with a smaller back? You gotta kind of force your will on teams when you really insist on running the ball. You got to get it blocked up in the middle. To me, I just say on a level, let's give it a grade. I would say the play calling so far this year has been C minus D at best. Would anybody agree with that or disagree with that? C minus D at best. Because I've seen some flashes where they call some pretty good stuff at the right time. So you got to give them credit for the whole meal. You know what I mean? You can't just piecemeal it and say, you know what, it's good here. It's not. I mean, I would say, and that's just not flattering. C minus D is just not flattering at all. And so offensive play calling, and let's talk about DJ's usage. I believe thus far between the first game and the third game, with what we just paid DJ and how they're calling these games, how they're using him in all of these horizontal schemes and screen passes, and not letting him attack downfield and do what he's good at, and giving him those, a lot of times they're shading coverage over towards DJ and kind of taking him out the game, but at the same time, you've got to give him some shots. Give him some one-on-one chances, some 50-50 balls, and see if he comes down with it. But all of that back and forth with the screen passes in the horizontal game, man, that's just going to get DJ hurt. I just don't like it. I do not like it. And it's just I think they need to do better. And if I was Keenan, let me see this comment here. I'll talk to you in a second, Michael Averhart. If I was Keenan, be honest with you, I know he doesn't have this personality, but I think he needs to kind of stick up for himself in the play calling department. I don't know if he needs to go in the Shane Waldron's office, in Flus's office. I don't give a damn, but he needs to go in there and talk to somebody about what kind of plays they're calling, because I think it's just not good. But let me talk to Michael Averhart. Michael Averhart says Caleb is missing college open receivers, generational. You know what? You know what's funny about that, Michael Averhart? I think he's a little nerved up before the game, and I think it takes him a while to settle down. And I just think sometimes some of the deep shots he's thrown, it's almost like, God damn, I got to pee. Let me hurry up and get rid of this ball. And the ball just comes out. He just chucks it. And there's no time and no rhythm to it. He just throws it. And it's way off. Way off. Appreciate that, Michael. I appreciate you, man. Love having you guys here, man. And it's just way off, man. I think maybe he needs to lay off the coffee a little bit before the game. Something, man. Take a shot of whiskey or something, man. But one thing I know is he's got to calm down and settle down a little bit. And I think that's majority of it. He's just got to calm down. Like I'm telling everybody else, stop panicking. He needs to stop panicking and just settle down, put his feet down, point them, and launch the ball. And he'll find his rhythm, man. It's yeah. Some when he's off on his throws, but sometimes it's just yeah, it's bad to look at. Talk about the offensive play calling. Let's talk about the defense, man. I really feel like Flus needs to pass that play call sheet over to Eric Washington. I want to know who in the chat thinks the same thing. Let me respond to Damon Cross. He's talking about DJ. Damon Cross says DJ shouldn't be anywhere around 300-pound lineman. Stop with throwing him the screen. Absolutely agree with that. It's a trickery play you only pull out once in a while, man. But you can't keep doing that to the guy and expecting him to get up every time uninjured, man. You just can't. So what were we talking about? We're talking about the defense and the play calling. I've let me say this. I have tried my best to not be hyperbolic about Flus and his job as the coach, but specifically talking about the D coordinator. I don't think he has a colorful enough mind. And I'll start with that and I'll explain myself in a second. I don't think he takes enough risk. He doesn't. And he plays it too black and white, and it's too predictable. Too many times trying to get after the quarterback with 4 and not getting home on time and giving up plays when he shouldn't. When he should be a little bit unpredictable, not be so. They shouldn't know when they're going to get overwhelmed with 5 or 6 rushers. They shouldn't know. But whenever they do, whenever we rush the passer with an extra man or two, you can see it clear as day. You can see it coming. You can see it coming, and they'll have a chance to adjust to that at the line of scrimmage. When he sent that blitz, when Jonathan Taylor gashed us and got that touchdown against us, they were able to audible into that run play at the line of scrimmage because he showed his hand. He showed his hand, and they got the right play call off at the nick of time, and he gashed us. They straight up gashed us. What I think Eric Washington brings to the table, and I believe I've seen proof of that with what he did with Buffalo's defense. You just never knew how many he can make. He can make a 4-man rush look like it was going to be 5 or 6. And the other way around. You just don't know when it's coming at you because he was in and out of the box with players and having players drop out and then sending corner blitzes, and you just never could really get a beat on what he was doing with Flus. And you guys might think I'm just sitting here talking. You guys might just think I'm just sitting here talking. But one thing you can't be as a really effective D coordinator, you could be a sound defensive coordinator and put together nice sound calls for your defense. But if you're predictable and you don't have a level of unpredictability to you, man, teams will figure you out. Like next week, we're gonna be talking about this game with Matthew Stafford. He will dice your ass up. I don't care how many receivers that he's got down and hurt. He will dice this team up if they're predictable. He's seen it all, done it all. He's seen it all. He will dice the Bears the fuck up. I'm telling you. So this was just one of those games I had on my schedule early before we did all the prediction stuff, and I wasn't sure. And I feel pretty good in telling you guys that if we come out and be predictable on defense, he will light our asses up. He's one of the top 2-3 quarterbacks in the league, and that ain't gonna change no matter what receivers are out there. And so, I'm gonna read a couple of comments while we're talking about Flus and the defense. Jigsaw says Flus needs to let his defensive coordinator call the defense. He's been terrible at game management. Yes, he needs to concentrate on game management and be the CEO and let this man call a damn defense. Let me read. Damon Cross says, if you notice, the defense improved when the D-line plays with discipline and stop talking themselves out of a play. I feel you. I'm reading comments over here. Let me see. Jose Goncalves. I think I said that right. Hopefully I didn't butcher it, Jose. Offense no different. Offense no different than it has been for 3 years. Common denominator flus. I have a feeling that he has his fingers on the offense. I do too, Jose. Seems like chaotic and disjointed, and as how he coaches the game on game days. I agree with that. Let me read another comment. I'm looking, getting to as many as I can. Ken Schaefer wants to know what is the real reason why we couldn't run the ball against the Colts. Wrong play calling with the wrong personnel, and they just didn't commit to it. That would be my short answer for that, Ken. Let me see. Mayhem thinks the whole coaching staff, Matt Eberflus and the whole staff needs to be fired. Yeah, his confidence is through the roof, Don. Man, he gonna be hell to deal with. Y'all just found that out, didn't y'all? Let me see. Jay Sanders says game management is not Eberflus's strength. That is damn true. Michael Averhart, defense is not bad. Offenses has to score some points. We're way too predictable, Michael, man. I played on this defense. I played in the defense in high school and in college. What I'll describe it to you, what we've seen through week 3, how players would be talking about this in the locker room. And we'd be sitting around the locker, and our defense, our coordinator just called a bland ass game, kept us in zone the most of the game, hardly ever sent the rush, and we barely got out of a game. We would be sitting in that locker room and be like, man, what the fuck is it going to take us to convince this dude to let us eat? What do we mean by that? Let us eat. Send your dogs in blitzes and let them go attack downhill and make the offense uncomfortable. Send your linebackers. Send your corners on the blitz. Send your safeties on the blitz. Let them eat. Find your playmakers and who's really good at attacking. Like you gotta get Jaquan Brisker and you gotta get Kyler Gordon downfield a little bit more. You gotta get Tyreek Stevenson, who's a dog, has a dog mentality. Blitz him off the corner. You know, that's what I mean when I say he's got to let his dogs eat. Let them off the porch. Let them loose. Take the leash off of them. They're playing too many bland coverages, and it's costing us. And if they don't figure that out, if there's not a change by the time we get to Sunday, Matthew Stafford will dice this team up. If they sit back there in that plain ass zone, he knows every hole in it, he will dice us apart. Those are just the facts. Let me get to another couple of comments. Thank you for that, Michael Averhart. Let me see. Jigsaw's talking about Flus messing with the offense, man. That's a conversation I think we need to have. He says, I think Flus is meddling with the offense too. Remember in Hard Knocks, he reviews the preseason games with Caleb without the OC and the QB coach. Yeah, I said that, and people kind of got on me when I said that, like they're supposed to have a relationship, no question about it. But as the head coach and a defensive coordinator by trade, I think he should let any of the offensive game planning that they may or may not want to install with his input come to him. And so what I mean by that is let them come to your office and say, hey, you know what, as a defensive coordinator, we're looking at this. We can attack this defense this way with this scheme. What do you think about that? Do you like this, or you think we might try something else, kind of adjust it a little bit? He should let that come to him. I don't think he should go in that room and be like, hey, we need to get this many run plays. We need to get this off, that off. I think he's out of line if that's what he's doing. I don't know who might agree with that or not, but I'm kind of sensing what you're saying, Jigsaw, and I think he does have a little too much to do with that shit, man, and I don't like it. I'm reading comments over here. Let me see. Plank is agreeing with you, man. He said, yeah, he oversees the offense. He needs to let the coaches coach. Absolutely, man. Please, thank you, Damon. Please get the likes up, people. Please get the likes up. Hit your notification bell because you never know when I'm going to go live and give you guys some content. Please get the likes up, and thank you so much, Damon. All right, let me see. I'm looking at comments. Jay Sanders says, what week do we have a chance to realistically win? do we play the Jags? I think we can win next week. It's just about the game plan and how you choose to attack them, how you choose to stop Matthew Stafford. Are you going to let him sit back there and be comfortable throwing from the pocket, or are you going to be unpredictable and let your dogs off the leash? Let them get off the porch. I think it comes down to that. It's about how you scheming up on offense, and make sure they're good in the trenches. And flat out, is Eberflus going to continue to call this game? Is he going to continue to be gray when it comes down to it, or is he going to bring some color to this and really attack Matthew Stafford? One of the two, you're going to have to figure one. If we don't, we're going to be in trouble. Damn, Mayhem is saying Shane Waldron is no better than Luke Getsy. I'm reading comments. It's Crimson you did. He says, fun fact, if Matt Eberflus wins out the rest of the season, he will be under 500. Wow. All right, I'll tell y'all what. Let's check out so Bears Etc. had an interview with Flus this morning, or it just came out this morning. And the way I'm gonna have to do this, guys, is I'm gonna do a lot of starting and stopping it, but because that's the way you have to do it on when you got a YouTube show, because you get strict down because you're using somebody else's content. So it's going to be a lot of starting, stopping, me pausing and talking to you guys. So bear with me for a second while I pull this up. Give me a minute. My shared screen. So here we go. We're going to listen to a little bit of this and see what he's talking about.
DJ Moore, end zone, touchdown!
Get right to the comment.
Win the game.
So you got a rookie quarterback. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got some new pieces in place on offense. I wasn't unrealistic about, I thought, the difficulty of going into Houston and winning this game. But it's just
helping out an offense in terms of running the ball and, make a defensive.
I'm just forwarding until I get to the Matt Eberflus conversation, guys. Just bear with me.
Coordinator think twice about
back and commit to the whole scrimmage. And then you can start on to the next down and distance. So
the tape, get into meetings and start breaking it all down. Let's get the status at Hallis now with the Bears head coach. Matt, thanks for joining us. I know very early a morning arrival, so I don't know how much sleep you got, but enough to break down tape and all that. But to get in the game, I kind of referred to this as a 12-round fight last night. So I learned this morning, by the way, a 12-round fight in the heavyweight.
This is just me pausing because of the YouTube algorithm, guys. I'm just bear with me. I'm going to get to some stuff, and I'll get back to some comments. I can't see them right now, but bear with me.
The boxing world is referred to as the championship distance in boxing vernacular. So, but a lot of sparring, a few punches thrown, some landed, and as it turned out, literally from Aziz Al-Sharir, there was a punch thrown. So, but it took until the last snap to knock you guys out. And I think that's very important to state.
No. I think they I mean, we did it went down to the wire, but I thought the game was lost somewhere midway into the fourth quarter, for the record, but that's just me.
Right out of the gate here.
Yeah, these NFL games, as you know, always come down to the last drive and the last part of that fourth quarter. So that's why we practice those moments and those situations during practice and during the week, during training camp, and all year long, really. So it's important for us to be able to execute during that time. We gave ourselves a chance to get victory. We set up a got a 3-and-out. Offense did a nice job with getting down there to kick that field goal. Cairo hit a nice field goal there, and we did a good job of going through.
By the way, they need to talk to Cairo a little bit more, man. Yeah, I think they might have bit off a little bit more than they can chew. I think with that 56, 58-yarder, I think they tried with him. They should know where he's comfortable kicking the ball. I thought the kick was too deep. Sometimes you just got to be a little bit more aggressive and get your kicker into a better spot if you want to have him kick. I thought that kick that first kick that they gave him, man, it was a little too deep for him. He doesn't have a monstrous, strong ass leg in the first place, but I just thought the distance was too much. I just had to put that out there.
3 and out, utilizing our timeout and getting the ball back for the offense with plenty of time to be able to go down there and score. And, we just got behind the sticks, on the one sack, and then it ended up being 4th and 17. So those 2 plays were unfortunate, but again, we put ourselves in a good spot to be able to win that football game at the very end.
Did you like my analogy?
The boxing one?
Yeah.
Oh, I love boxing. So
how in the hell are you putting your team into a good spot to win the game when you on 4th and goal, you're running a speed option? Tell me how in the fuck that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense. And you sitting here saying that you put your team in the best opportune chance to win the game. Tell me how that makes sense. That ain't making no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah, it was real good.
Sparring a bit, really kind of the theme of the first 2 weeks, when you talk about a new quarterback, a young quarterback, and a new offense.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, those guys are going to find their way, in terms of, being efficient, being effective. And I thought they were better yesterday in terms of, Caleb was good, being able to get the ball out of his hands and the timely throws, and the accuracy was there, and those things. And we had a chance to make some bigger type plays, and those didn't happen during that time. But again,
yeah, you had a chance to make some big plays, but you kept throwing the goddamn ball horizontal, man. You got DJ Moore on your team. Somebody send that man a memo. You got DJ Moore on your team that can beat pretty much anybody, and sometimes double coverage. You just got to scheme it up, script it up the right way. And I do think his ass is in the offensive room too much. I believe that. I have no way to prove it, but I believe that. Back to some content.
Chunk plays are going to be big. We got to have those. And again, we got to establish the run game first.
Yeah, let's pick it up from there, because we talked about that in the pregame interview. Saw what was going on around the league yesterday. My gosh, the numbers for run games. And everybody's at a different point, obviously. You can't compare everything, but people are running the ball. And so if that happens, doesn't that change a lot of what Caleb's going to see from defenses?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good starting point, is to establish that running game. And I think that sets up a lot of things for you offensively.
Now, the running game. Now, there's going to be some people in the chat right now, some of the no-maniacs will probably disagree with me. I think the biggest thing in regards to that is getting the safety out of the box. It's getting the safety out of the box. Caleb just threw for 360-something yards a couple days ago. And it's not the best-looking 360-something yards you're ever going to see. Why? Because it took him 56 times to get there, 56 throws to get there, 58 maybe. You got to get that extra guy out of the box, or the run game is just not going to be stout. And what does that mean? What am I saying? That I'm saying that, unfortunately, you got to let Caleb throw the ball more. He's gonna have to scorch a safety or two in order to get that extra man out of the box to give the running game a chance. You gotta put him back in too high shell. Keep him too high and keep that extra guy out of the box, and you should be able to run the ball. But as of right now, we haven't been able to get that extra guy out of the box, and we're trying to force the running game, through the teeth of a defense that don't want to let you run the ball and want to make Caleb one-dimensional. And so, in truth, that's the X's and O's of what's really going on with the run game. They got an extra guy in the box. And until Caleb scorches that motherfucker, we're going to have to deal with it. And so that's why they're having him throw the ball a hell of a lot, to prove that he can beat them with his arm and in the pocket. Once he does that, who knows? That could happen in the first half of next game. Somewhere down the line, it needs to happen sooner rather than later. That's just the truth about the thing. But here we go.
I know on the other side, when you don't defend the run the right way, it's
demoralizing.
Well, you feel like you don't have control, because you're not controlling the down and distances, and that's what it is, and that's really about controlling the line of scrimmage.
When you're not running the ball and you're stuffed, you lose yards. There's false starts. There's sacks. So there were a number of behind the chains situations yesterday. I counted 13 of those situations of 3rd and long or 2nd and long or 1st and long.
That's another thing. I think there's too many, let's just say, too many shots to the foot. Matt Eberflus, if you were to give him some flowers, you would say, if you were to be honest with yourself, you would say that if nothing else, you'd have to give him credit for how disciplined he's had his team on and off the field. And so I'm upfront enough and transparent enough to give him those flowers. He's put together a nice team, set some good standards. They're disciplined for the most part. They kind of don't, they stay out of trouble in the off season and off the field. But, lately, like the past couple of games, man, I'm not seeing a whole lot of that discipline. It's a lot of shooting in the foot lately, but that's just me.
Long. Again, this is correctable.
Yes,
this is not like something you're stuck with. It's correctable.
I told him in the team meeting, it's about controlling the controllables. We can control penalties. We can control, in terms of how we operate and fundamentally on first and second down. And that's important for us because when you are in front of the sticks, it's a lot better and more efficient in terms of functioning on third down if you get to third down and going forward from there.
Every defense.
I'm trying to be the Flus whisperer. That was all football mumbo jumbo, coach speak, and he's just trying to get through this interview for the most part. He's not saying anything really noteworthy in this interview right now, at least. So just had to put that out there.
Defense has a different personality. So just because D'Amico Ryans threw 20 blitzes at a young quarterback, it doesn't mean everybody's going to do that. It may not be in their DNA to do that, but at the same time, it's there now, right? So
you guys are making this work.
With Bud Light, it's easy to watch NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV.
Yes!
Knowing that, doesn't that help your team in some way? Because they're going to be bracing for that. They're going to be focusing on that. You guys are going to coaching on that. I don't think Gus Bradley next week in Indiana, I don't think that's his mindset. They're not a big blitzing team, but that doesn't mean they won't.
Yeah, I mean, you're always ready for everything, in terms of, it's a copycat league. And when things start to work,
Wait a minute. Is this the wrong interview? Is this the wrong interview? Wait a minute here. Hold on, guys. Nah, this is the wrong goddamn interview, man. We're talking about after before the Colts game, man. I'm messing up the church's money up in here. Messing it up. Hold on, man. We got the wrong interview going on. But never mind, man. We ain't got enough time to shit. I really wanted to talk about that. My fault, guys. I just gave you guys the absolute wrong stuff. Let me stop this screen. I'll try to make up for that. That was messed up. Yeah, it was from the Houston game. Well, it was before the Houston game. So I pulled up the wrong goddamn interview, man. I'm sorry. Self-inflicted injury. All right. Let's talk about let me see. What did I miss? DJ's uses, the running game, the O-line, play calling. I'm gonna respond to some of you guys' comments before we get out of here, man. I'm gonna do that. All right. His top 10 is saying Shane Waldron should not be going shotgun or empty. Top 10. Here's my response to that. Most people want to see Caleb get under center, do play action, get the run game established, and get your explosive plays out of that. I do think there's merit for everybody that wants to see that. But when you're sitting there and you're the coach and you're trying to contemplate, what can I do to make this quarterback comfortable? How do we get him up to speed as fast as possible? How do we get him where we need to be and bend the learning curve a little bit? Guess what? The truth is Caleb Williams is more comfortable in shotgun, RPO, and empty backfield. All you got to do is watch the tape, and you'll see that he finds rhythm a lot faster when he's in that situation. And I think that if it's me, I'm thinking there's no reason to try to recreate a wheel when you're trying to bring this young quarterback along. I think you do what he does best. And I think every time you don't and you try to force your will on this kid, I think you might end up with the results you don't want. And so I think that's my explanation for it. They're just not trying to, cram their head against a stone wall. Why do that, man? Get him as comfortable as you can, as fast as you can. But I agree with you. But at the same time, I understand why they're doing what they're doing. All right, let me get to some more comments. Let me see. Smitty said the latest interview didn't even sound that much different. All right. It's Crimson Your Dig says, Nomad, if it doesn't work out soon, keep your eye on Kevin Warren. I don't think he's a patient person. Yeah, man. I always said I felt like Flus had up until maybe the trade deadline to see some success before that the pitchforks and bats and chains were going to come out. But clearly we're there already. So it's not, I can't really argue with that. Let me see. Let me read. I'm reading comments. How you doing, boss players? Hey guys, hit the like button, and anybody new to the channel, man, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, man. We're trying to grow over here. So do us that favor if you're new to the channel. Let me see. Jigsaw says one of Caleb's strengths is the ability to throw on the run, is what he's trying to say. Should he be rolling out more? I think it's going to take time for him to get used to that under center play, man. You know, he just didn't do a lot of it. You know, it's not like he's not capable of doing it or he can't do it. It's not that. It's just not where he's most comfortable. If you had to ask me yet, you know, right now they put him in RPO and empty sets to make him comfortable and let him spray the ball around. You know, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. But we just got to be able to run the ball better out of it. That's the whole thing. Thank you, boss players. Appreciate you. All right, I'm reading other comments. Do you think the offense can be more efficient with Roschon as RB1 and more of a downhill running game? See, that's, you know what, Leo, that's exactly what I was talking about when I said, you know, the running game, the schemed up runs for the situation that you're in. So let's just say we're doing RPO and we're trying to get a draw play up the middle. Do you want to run that with Roschon, Khalil Herbert, or do you want to run that with DeAndre Swift? Like I can make an argument for either one of them. The whole thing is you got to get it blocked up, and our O-line isn't getting it blocked up in the run game. You know, we talked a whole lot of shit about how good our O-line is. Thank you, Plank. He just gifted somebody a membership. Please, whoever he just gifted that membership to, give him a shout out and a thank you, man. That's the least we could do. But thank you, Plank. We appreciate it. But what was I saying? It's about how you get it blocked up. I think we gave the line a little bit too much credit on how good of a run blocking team we were, and probably didn't give Justin Fields enough credit for adding to those stats and padding those stats and making it look like we were a really good running team. And maybe we weren't. Maybe we were not. You know, maybe we wasn't as good as we thought we were with this offensive line, because we really haven't changed really any. We got a couple new pieces, but that's it. You know, but it's when you look at it on all 22, this offensive line is not getting it blocked up the way they need to, and you cannot put all of the lack of run game on DeAndre Swift. He's just running into a wall. You got to open up some holes, man. That's just the truth about it. But there's an argument for either one of those guys. Let's say that he's under center, Caleb's under center. Who do you want back there in that play call design? I'd probably go with more of a power back in that play call design, but that's me. All right, I'm reading some more comments. He said, boss player said it's more to do. Oh, he's talking to Michael, my bad. All right. Top 10. He's saying this team is fit to implode. If they continue this trajectory, we're going to implode and advance, and CW too fast is why. How is CW and DJ team captain and Keenan Allen isn't? That's a good ass question. I don't know about that. I don't think they're speeding up. I think they're trying to bend the learning curve, and I think getting them throwing the ball 56 times a game is helping that kid find rhythm. I just think that's what they're thinking. I can't say whether it's right or wrong. You know, we're gonna all have our opinions on that. I think they're doing what they need to do to loosen up the box and get him into more of a rhythm so that you can get that run game going. All right, let me see. Boss Player says he was definitely worried about the line. Let me see. I think Leo Factor is responding to who to put in the backfield on certain rundowns. Yeah, people would naturally lean towards Herbert and Roschon right now because they're more powerful backs. But I'm telling you, when you look at the all 22, they're going to have to run through a brick wall just to get some yardage, man, because this offensive line isn't blocking it well. Let me see. Top 10 says maybe the reason was holding the ball so long because it's hard to run for your life and throw at the same time. I hear you, man. All right, so I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up, man. And you guys let me know. You guys let me know. Maybe I'll come back and do some more content later on tonight, maybe about 9:30 or 10. Try to sneak a live show in before my girlfriend gets home. Y'all let me know, maybe. I know there's some other content going on a little later on tonight, but we'll try not to step on too many toes. But yeah, that's what I think is going on, man. And if I had to leave you guys with some encouragement, this is what I would say to you guys. And I'm pulling up some stuff right quick. Excuse me. All right. I would leave you guys with this, man. I think when I look around and I see the Bears fan base overall, and I like to call myself pretty keen on, I can tap into the bloodstream of the fan base pretty good. I think I can feel you guys, even without knowing you guys from a distance. I think I can feel where the fan base is, and I do think it's a lot of panic going on. And I don't think we're there yet. Matter of fact, I know we're not there yet. They really are in an exploratory phase on offense for sure, and on defense, I think Flus is basically they're calling this bluff. We know what to do against your zone, and if you're gonna use that as your base defense and you're gonna stay in that most of the game, we can checkmate you on that. I think that's mostly what we're seeing. We got a young quarterback that they're trying to figure out. We got a new offensive game plan with new coaches, and they're trying to figure all that stuff out. They're really trying to figure all that stuff out and see how to use all these guys. And I think going into game 4, I would say, I think if we're talking about how soon can they find their flow, I think they're about 70% there. I would say that I think they're about 70% there. I think they got a few more things to figure out. The offensive line, the blocking techniques, all that kind of stuff. I think they're about that much away from the blocking scheme, learning how to use the weapons, and getting a little bit more colorful on defense. That's how close I think we are. But I want to leave you guys with that little bit of encouragement. I don't think it's as bad as you guys think it is, and hopefully, I impressed somebody today with that notion. So, but before we get out of here, man, I got to leave you guys with these famous words because I love you all and thank you for being here because I do appreciate you. But I got to leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, you can damn sure manifest it. It's all up to you. Just get out of your own way. And I am out.